What's up, friends? My name is Kevin, Yale 2020 grad, majored in East Asian Studies. Since the start of quarantine, I've made over $40,000 as a college consultant and writing tutor. Today, I am going to teach you how to write a superb, out-of-this-world, stellar Common App essay using the one and only Mandalorian Way. This structure is perfect for students who want to include a key moment in their essay but don't know how, students who have an incomplete draft of their Common App essay, and students who have not started on their Common App essay yet. But first, let's talk about Star Wars: The Mandalorian. I'm assuming you guys are familiar with the plot, but if not, here's what you need to know. And trust me, this is important. The Mandalorian is basically about this ex-bounty hunter who traverses various planets accompanied by Baby Yoda, aka the Child. While his quest is to ultimately protect and deliver Baby Yoda to the Jedi, he also develops immensely as a protagonist. At the start of Season 1, Mando is a vagabond, an intergalactic samurai who excels at killing, brute force, and that's pretty much it. He's hesitant to work with teams, he's distrustful of drones due to some childhood trauma, and he also identifies himself as Mandalorian rather than a unique individual. Of course, by the end of Season 1, our Mando has undergone a total transformation. In the season finale, Mando volunteers to stay behind and basically sacrifice himself in order to protect his new buddies from the Empire. At the verge of death, he removes his helmet and reveals his true identity to IG-11, an assassination droid that ironically saves his life during his hour of need. This is a pivotal moment in the series. By taking off his helmet, Mando has effectively let go of his cold outer shell, as well as his fear and mistrust of droids. An action that consequently restores faith in his own potential for goodness and salvation. Wonderful! Now that I've basically spoiled Season 1 for everyone, let's talk about how to leverage these techniques in order to help you get into your dream college. There's a lot to dissect here, but I just want to focus on two things: character development and memorable settings. To implement these techniques, we're going to use a 3-scene or vignette structure, followed by a reflection at the very end to weave your entire Common App essay together. Yes. But before I continue, I forgot to mention a very important detail. You guys know how in The Mandalorian, Mando basically just keeps going on these side quests, meeting new characters, like basically every episode? I'm referencing Season 2. And then these characters help him discover something new about himself, usually his humanity and selfless nature that was inside him all along. Yes, we're going to do the same thing. And because of this, our 3 scenes must fulfill the following 5 requirements. First, we're going to establish the setting. Next, we're going to introduce another character. Third, we're going to identify a mini conflict. Fourth, we're going to explain how you, or the character you're with, solves this conflict. And finally, a brief 1 to 2 sentence takeaway. So each of our 3 scenes should be about 150 words, which leaves us with about 200 words for the final reflection. And like I said previously, each scene should showcase different conflicts, characters, and settings, but still revolve around a central theme. Trust me, I know this sounds like a lot, so I'm going to show you a real-life example to really illustrate my point. The student who wrote this following excerpt is a friend of mine who got into Cornell, by the way. Here is his first vignette, or scene. Max is a 10-year-old Canadian-American boy with 5 fingers. He's also a soccer star, but he told me he got bored with one fall sport and wanted to add football to his list. After 2 hours of running around Bialek Park and throwing his pee-wee football, Max and I sit indoors. He stares at the deck of cards in front of him, preparing for a final round of Crazy Eights. Unable to do a bridge, a skill his little sister proudly showed us moments before, Max places the deck on the floor. Carefully pushing the cards around with both hands, Max beams at me as he stacks the cards into a neat pile. Then, using his left hand to steady the deck, he uses his right to slide each card out. Despite his differences, Max is a brilliant athlete and strategist, constantly fleecing me in each game we play. Max Learer may not have the same dealing ability as the other kids, but he will never be knocked for not trying his best. If you guys want to take notes, I recommend pausing the video right about now. At this point, I can kind of guess what you guys are thinking.
Kev, this whole process sure sounds like a lot of steps.
Yes, but know that checking those 5 boxes I mentioned earlier will really help get your creative juices flowing. Personally, I find it's a lot easier to go down that list than just stare at a blank page for several hours. And I also think it's easier to write like 3 250-word vignettes than poop out an entire Common App draft in one sitting. So, Write 2 more scenes like that, and then we arrive at the conclusion, which is the most important part of your Common App essay. In your conclusion, you will break down the core theme or takeaway and explain how it has impacted you on a personal level. You must, and I repeat, must answer the following 2 questions. First of all, how did you observing or your participation in the previous scenes help you grow as an individual? And then secondly, most importantly, how will you take what you've learned and apply it in a college setting? Please tattoo the answers to these 2 questions onto your forehead. Mando aside, literally, if this is the only thing that you guys have learned from my video, I have succeeded. Seriously guys, colleges really care about those 2 things. Personal growth and contribution to campus. Let's take a look at the conclusion from the previous essay for some inspiration. Outside of home, I've seen limitation, desperation, and abject poverty. Despite a difficult economy, or not having all 10 fingers, or harsh reviews from friends, each experience has taught me that resilience can be found anytime, within anyone. Snyder's Pub will open for their 17th year, Lauren will run business as usual, and Max will thrive playing football this upcoming season. I was privileged to see how these people live their lives, but most of all, I've been inspired by their attitude. As I become a college student and beyond, I'll try to carry their strength with me and remember them through injuries, long hours, and tough times. Now the student could have definitely further elaborated upon his contribution to campus, but at least he answered the question, which is way more than what most applicants do. The conclusion is also a really good place to show how you've changed. Think back to Mando. This man literally did a 180. He went from lone wolf to father of Baby Yoda, from anti-droids to being saved by one, from working alone to thriving in teams. You'll want to do the same thing. Become a Mandalorian. In fact, you know what? Just become Pedro Pascal. I mean, look at this guy. Who wouldn't hand this man an acceptance letter? By the way, guys, I just wanted to mention that up until the point where I reach 1,000 subs, I'll be handing out free college application advice. Seriously, just sign up for a time to meet with me using this link, bit.ly/botherkevin20. I also have a video about my own Common App essay, as well as an entire playlist dedicated to helping you goobers get into college. So please do yourself a favor, sit down and watch all of those videos on repeat. Finally, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. My channel is literally smaller than Baby Yoda, so every sub counts. Thank you all so much, and catch you guys at the next one. May the Force be with you.